Good morning, folks. As we head into literally the last month before your AP window opens, I wanted to consolidate our resources as we prepare to take the test. It is not my goal to throw another piece of content at you. Given what we have covered this year, we have a good textual frame of reference to work with, so I'm not giving you another text to analyze. At this point, we are really looking at just culling the resources that you've accumulated this year and in previous years to help you prep for this exam. So I'm going to ask you to, between now and Friday, update your AP English Lit and Comp Prep and Review folder. You began it in the first semester, so you might have to go sift through your drive a little bit and find it, but it is time to update it and make sure that we have materials in there. Some of you may have already been doing this. If you have, fantastic. This makes life a lot more quick for you in terms of this. For those of you who maybe have not updated it recently, this will take a few minutes. So this is not due until the end of the week, but I did want to give you a heads up since the materials that I'm looking for, you do currently have existing in your classroom stream and in your drive. And I will be adding more resources to this over the next couple of weeks. So again, if you have, most of you should already be able to check off this this component. You all were asked to create a folder for this material during the first semester. So it's just a matter of going back and finding it and getting it where it's easily locatable for you. Please make sure if you have not created subcategories or folders for subcategories, I'm going to ask that you do that now. And you'll see that I'm looking for roughly 4 folders right now, a place to compile your information on scoring guides, your information on the sample essays, and I will give you more PDFs of those as we progress in the next day or two and week. Please make sure in terms of writing review, you've got a folder for that and a folder for multiple choice. Please do remember that if you're looking for where those rubrics are located, you do have some rubrics and samples already in your first semester materials. So they are posted in Stream, they are posted in Classroom. Please go back, locate them, and move them into this, the corresponding folders of your review materials. In your writing file, I am asking you to include the slideshows or screencasts on transitions, conclusion, thesis review, and everything else that we've covered over the course of the year. And as I go through the stream and take a look at what we have there and what we still need there, we'll be adding more to that over the next week or so. Please make sure you're adding your notes on the pacing recommendations that we looked at last week. That was a doc that was posted in your classroom during that last week of March, first week of April. So if you are sifting through your classroom, that is where you'll find it. And let's go ahead and remind you for multiple choice tools, we will be adding more here as well, but please make sure you have in your Quizlet on high frequency lit terms. You compiled a list of your top 25. Please make sure you've moved in the lists on the tonal scales. Those were posted in your classroom, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks ago. And please make sure that you have moved in your literary term handout, and that was posted in your classroom several times. If you are completely unable to find it from first semester's materials, let me know and I will move it up. Lastly, this is the one that might take you a little more time and the one that will breed the most questions. So please take a listen, please take a moment and bring me any questions tomorrow as we take a look at it. But as we prep your question 3, that is your free response on a text of your choosing, any work of literary merit. And as a friendly reminder for you, please remember that everything that you have read in English 1, 2, honors, AP language, if you dealt with some fiction, and I know maybe one section did and one section may not have as concretely, but, and then of course anything from this year and anything off of the list of texts that I gave you for your spring independent read. I do recommend if you're really looking for kind of a cheat sheet thing here, like what should I cull it down to in terms of knowing, some people will choose to just focus on a few. You have read a lot over your 4 years in high school, and it's not necessary that you remember all of them. I would recommend, if you want kind of the round scope of what to review, I would suggest going back and pulling your book bites, first of all. My recommendation is that you get to know 8 texts very, very well. And some of you may already have this kind of locked in your back pocket. You do want to make sure that you have a range of writers in your arsenal, in your head up here to kind of write on. So I do recommend that you really go through and cull the different texts that you've read over the last 4+ years and pull 2 British writers, 2 American writers, 2 world writers. So British and American are kind of our heavy hitters in terms of what we study. But as you guys know, there are several writers from around the world who are wonderful and of literary merit. And in recent years, College Board is really putting a focus on other cultures and other facets of writing. So I do recommend 2 world writers and 2 plays. And as you can see, there's going to be some crossover there, which is absolutely fine. Please do remember that any flashback novel you read is going to work, and anything that you have read for your spring independent read is going to work as literary merit. So please be aware that, again, you've got that range. And if you're not sure if something is going to fit, please shoot me an email, ask. It is worth the discussion, especially since they are expanding what we see as literary merit on the AP exam and in the canon in general. And so, folks, I'm going to ask you to pull the cheat sheets and book bites that you have compiled over the years. And I know that if you've had Miss Shemazian, you have quite a few. And if you have Miss Lindstedt, you had maybe a couple that you were working on, which is absolutely fine. You have got a handful from us as well. So bear that in mind in terms of what you're compiling into this question 3 preparation folder. If you want to do what I call a baseball card exchange or a Pokemon card exchange, you can absolutely do that. So let's say that you did a really fantastic job on a Great Gatsby book bite, and you would really like to get a copy of a Hamlet book bite that maybe didn't go as well for you, you can exchange or share with some of your buddies or colleagues in class. So it may be that somebody shares their Great Gatsby with me, and I share my Hamlet with somebody, and that way we both have 2 things to study from. We both have a Hamlet, we both have a Great Gatsby. Again, our goal here is to give you tools to review. And so if somebody has a book bite because they read a separate piece and so did you, but you didn't necessarily do the book bite for whatever reason, and they're willing to share with you in exchange for something else, that is absolutely fine. But the goal is that you have roughly 8 texts that you're going to take the time to really revisit, get to know the characters again, get to know the themes again, get to know some of the techniques again, so that when the time comes, you've got hopefully a broader frame to choose from when you get to that 3rd question. So again, bring your questions in tomorrow in terms of what is literary merit, will this book work, will that play work, and any other questions that you might have. And we'll go from there. But I hope that the screencast helped, and I hope that it was a little easier than sitting through the directions. And again, come in with any questions tomorrow. We don't have to really worry about my dropping in and checking your folder until Friday. So do a little bit each day to get your resources moved over. All right, thank you so much, and I will look forward to seeing you later.